She has coordinated and co-directed Datuns, including this year's Datun, which will be at Deer Park in August, September. Um, so she has really taken the Dharma to heart and is propagating it in the most marvelous way. There's a second reason, though, that when I wanted to say something about Leandra today, when I um, asked her, when I showed her the syllabus and asked her which topic she was interested in and wanted to talk about, she immediately chose this one. And that's the second reason. I think you noticed in the reading for this week that um, Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, in several places, he says things like, you cannot understand Buddhism at all without Tonglen. It's a very strong statement. He says, this is what holds the Hinayana and the Vajrayana together. He says you're getting an inner scoop on the Buddha's mind directly and at its best. So to me, it's very significant that Leandra chose this particular topic. It is so important. So thank you, Leandra. Over to you.
Thank you, Tashi. I think we'll start with 10 minutes of meditation, or is it 5 minutes? Not sure.
It's 5.
Hello, everyone. So as Tashi mentioned, today I'm going to be talking about the compassion practice of Tonglen. And we're also going to do a short session together. So first, I'm going to say a few words about the practice, and then we'll do a guided session together. So Tonglen is a central Mahayana practice of awakening compassion. And it is a main practice in the cultivation of relative bodhicitta, the tender heart that inspires us to benefit others. Or as Adrian was talking about last week, our soft spot, getting in touch with our soft spot that inspires us to work for other beings. In the context of the Luzhang slogans that we've been studying, Tonglen is related to the first relative bodhicitta Luzhang slogan, which is, sending and taking should be practiced alternately. These two should ride the breath. Tonglen is a Tibetan word. Tong means sending out or letting go, and Len means receiving or accepting. So Tonglen is the practice of sending and taking, and it's also known as the practice of exchanging oneself for others. And the main idea here with Tonglen is to reverse our habitual pattern. And by reversing our habitual pattern, interrupt ego. And the habitual pattern that we're working with here is the constant push and pull that we're involved in, where we push away anything that might be painful and pull in what might give us pleasure. And in this push and pull, we vigilantly ward off anything that just threatens to disturb our ease, our comfort, our sanity, our goodness. And this constant effort that we're involved in makes us somewhat territorial. So when we do Tonglen, we're actively reversing this habit. We're visualizing pulling in others' suffering and sending out our happiness to others. Last week, Dzongtsar Khyentse Rinpoche talked about habitual patterns and how they can be so strong and sharp, that sense of me. So in Tonglen, we're loosening that grip on me. And in the process, because we're letting go of that territoriality, we naturally soften and become more gentle. I'm going to read a Trungpa Rinpoche quote from our reading for this week about letting go of this territorial attitude and softening. It is important to experience and to understand your own unreasonability. Since you have been unreasonable all along, you have to slightly overdo the whole thing in order to make yourself a reasonable person. By doing so, you begin to realize how to be a decent person. This is what Tonglen is all about. So in this practice, like with the shamatha meditation we do at the beginning of class, we use the breath. But instead of a neutral breath, we're inviting content. And we use the content of our thoughts as fuel to reverse the car, to reverse ego scheme, reverse the samsaric logic. However, that being said, shamatha meditation is still a part of Tonglen practice. In a practice session, we start with shamatha meditation, then we practice Tonglen, and then we return to shamatha at the end. So Tonglen practice is done in a shamatha sandwich. Tonglen practice has 3 phases. And the first phase is flashing absolute bodhicitta. So we begin by flashing total openness. You let your mind go wide into space with the intention to take down the wall between yourself and others, yourself and the world. It's a moment of open heart without any hesitation. And we rest in that openness for a few moments. In the second phase, we start working with the breath. And it's recommended that you close your eyes at this point, but if you're more comfortable with your eyes open, that's okay too. And we begin with visualizing just the general texture. So on the in-breath, we're visualizing dark, hot, stuckness, claustrophobia. And on the out breath, light, cool, relief, well-being, healing. And these are just words to evoke the textures, but you can use whatever makes it vivid for you. And an important point here is that the yuckiness that we're breathing in is not sticky. So we're welcoming it in, but it's not solid. It's not leaving a residue behind. These textures are free-flowing, circulating, and it's inherently empty, so it can't stick around. The third phase of Tonglen is bringing to mind specific beings. So in the first part, we bring to mind someone that you feel tenderness towards. Maybe a close family member or a friend that you love who has taken care of you. And on the in-breath, we're bringing in their pain, and on the out-breath, we're sending them relief. And the second part is when you're ready, you can expand that out to include more people. So maybe that's all the people who are experiencing this type of suffering as your loved one. And the idea here is that we're widening the circle of compassion. So here we are in this class, and there are the people that you meet here, but there are many other people who are experiencing the same flavor of pain. And you can expand your practice to include them. And you can even widen the circle further to include people you don't like, who are difficult to have compassion towards. Pema Chodron suggests that you can imagine you're breathing and through all of your pores into your heart, which is expanding. So the idea here is that we're increasing our capacity. And I wanted to go over some finer points about the practice. So as much as possible, try and keep it on the feeling level. So rather than a storyline about why the person or people you're including is suffering, or maybe what you think they should do, your own judgments, just keep it on the feeling level. We're working with our thoughts. So whatever comes up, you can use it. If you space out, once you come back, you can work with the thoughts that carried you off. So maybe there's another person or people, that a situation that keeps coming to your mind. And instead of fighting it, you can actually bring them into your Tonglen. And if it feels too hard, maybe you have a lot of hurt or pain in your system for whatever reason, be very gentle and slow. And there's a couple ways to work with that to stay with the practice. So one of them is that you can always start Tonglen with yourself. And then if you're ready, you can eventually expand to include many other people with that shared experience. Another thing you can do is focus more on the sending part. So you can focus on the sending out light and relief. And also, if you're having an unpleasant experience during the practice, you can use it to connect with the experience of other people feeling similar pain. And you can wish that you and them may be free from suffering. And it's the same for the flip side. If you're having a pleasurable experience, you can offer it, dedicate it to others. So the main point here is that it's all workable and nothing is left out. And Tonglen is a formal practice, but actually it's meant to be something that kicks in your daily life. So here we are formally practicing together, but you can do it in a few seconds for someone in your daily life. Maybe you see someone hurt, you see a car accident, you hear someone crying, you visit a hospital. It can happen automatically. It's meant to be automatic in that sense. And this formal and informal Tonglen is a training of our reflexes, so that it becomes our reflex when things come up in our life, when we're faced with other suffering, we can actually help other people, extend ourselves, exchange ourselves for others with compassionate action. So it's about cultivating bravery, about opening up, our feeling of richness and being able to give out. Trungpa Rinpoche talks about basic goodness and Buddha nature and how that's an inexhaustible treasure to give out, and also in our capacity to receive. So we're committing to this practice wholeheartedly, but it doesn't need to be too grim or heavy-handed either. It's about opening yourself to others. So now we're going to do a short guided Tonglen session together. So take your seat in the meditation posture, relaxed and upright. And we're going to start with a couple minutes of shamatha. Now, flash total openness. Rest your mind for a moment or two, opening to basic spaciousness and clarity. Now start to breathe in feelings of heat, darkness, claustrophobia, and breathe out cool, lightness, spaciousness, freshness. Next, bring to mind someone you feel affection for. Maybe a family member or a close friend, someone you love. Think about the pain or distress they may be in. Breathe that in. If you can't think of anyone, breathe in your own pain or distress. Then breathe out health, safety, comfort, happiness to that person or to yourself. Finally, you can make the sending and taking bigger, maybe expanding into this whole group or your entire family, or maybe even everyone who's feeling that type of suffering. If you're just beginning this practice, keep it simple. Don't try to include the whole world at once. Now, gently let the visualization go, and when you're ready, return to shamatha practice. Okay, so now we're going to have our discussion groups. And the discussion question is, what did you notice from this practice? There we go. So I think now we'll have a discussion period if anyone has anything they'd like to share or any questions.
Yeah, and feel free to put the questions in the chat as well.
I know. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, you're muted.
And just make Aina a co-host
Oh,
so
great.
she can unmute herself. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, do I go first? I saw Jose raised his hand first. But anyway, I can ask one simple question first. Actually, I've been doing the Tonglen practice for some times, but today when we did the group practice with you, I feel my body reaction a little bit. The feeling, the very hot feeling, a very warm feeling on my belly around. Until now, it is still very warm. I don't know
Yeah.
what does it tell. I'm very curious. So
Yeah, that's interesting. My guess would be because you were really like committed wholeheartedly to the practice and you're visualizing like the claustrophobia and the heat, and that can be, you can have a visualization in your mind, but you can also feel it in your body. So I think that's great that you were like so committed
it's
to
a
it.
good
That's,
sign.
I think
Every
so.
time. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah,
sure.
because it doesn't happen very often, but just the group practice we did together, it's very strong feeling. Maybe it's because of the part of the group effort, I think.
I think so. Yeah, it's like very powerful when you practice as a group, as
Yeah.
I'm sure you know. Yeah, that's
Okay,
great.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Jose?
Thank you, Leandra, for this
Oh,
teaching
thank you.
practice. I have a question about this practice because actually I don't do this practice for a long time. I do another practice similar to this practice, Metta Bhavana, when we offer and aspire freedom and liberation to other people.
Mm.
And for me, it's a bit strange that we have to inspire this darkness and the claustrophobia and the anger and the negativity, uh, uh, especially when we feel our we feel that another people is free, is have Buddhahood. It's like we are refining their negativity. And when we do Tonglen, I do Tonglen sometimes. For example, today in group, and I feel, for example, I take one person and feel uh, her Buddhahood and her. I don't know, compassion towards her, etc. But we need to still inspire this negativity. If I see her or him or another group in this I don't know, pure realm or in this liberation.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty or people talk a lot about that going from meta to Tonglen, that there is a like an adjustment there because it is very similar, but it's a different approach. Um, I think um when you're talking, I was thinking about how like everyone has Buddha nature and basic goodness, and what you're taking from them isn't their doesn't mean that they're inherently bad. It's just that they're suffering like we're all suffering. And that could be on a very subtle level too. Um, so it's not, you're not like reaching deep inside them, like there's this like stuckness or like claustrophobia in them. It's more like what they're experiencing in their life. You're saying, like, I will like hold that for you. I'll take that on so you don't have to experience that. So it doesn't have to be very heavy. we can just connect with like just feeling uncomfortable and the just kind of experience of being human. I hope that helps. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Rita.
Hi, Leandra. So, Leandra, I was asking same question with my group leader, Pallavi. So this question might sound silly. So my question is like that. First of all, I see Tonglen as a mind training.
Mhm.
So when whatever we are doing Tonglen, we are just training our mind. But if we are giving something to somebody, then how does that affect to another person? So I have heard if great master just wish to give somebody, it happens, and I totally believe on that. But if I am doing for somebody, how does that affect to other people?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I like in our reading, he talks about the great master who was doing Tonglen for the dog that was being stoned and then had like bruises on his back. I think for us, something could be happening on the energetic level where you could be helping someone with their suffering, but we can't really chase that, look for it. And even if we find out that that did happen, you have to like disown it and let it go. I think it's like you can't really know. And if that's happening, that's wonderful. But like mainly we're working with our mind and doing like the mind training. So that's my understanding.
So Leandra, you mean we should take this Tonglen as a mind training only?
I would say primarily is mind training. And then, but if it is of benefit to other people, then that's really wonderful. But we just can't, or Tribhuvan recommends like not focusing on that, not trying to make that solid or chasing it. Yeah.
Makes
But
sense.
also I feel like, you know, not totally qualified to answer that question. It's yeah.
Thank you, Leandra.
Thank you.
It's okay. Okay. I thank you so much for this this training today, this class today. Really appreciate it. So this came up in our group, and I've been doing Tonglen for a while now. And in the beginning, when I first did it, I thought we had to transform. You know, I thought like that was the instructions. You know, take in the dark, the yucky, the black, the heaviness, and transform it into the light and the coolness, and send that out. But then one day, and so our group leader also said, you know, yes, there's like different teachings on this, and you know, bring it in. I think it's Avalokiteshvara. But then one day when I stopped the transforming, I like was like kind of giving up like a control, being responsible for that dark, and just bring it in and then send out the lightness and coolness and airiness and stuff. Then I felt a lot lighter in doing the practice. So I guess my question is which way would you recommend, like the transformation part, or just like the light, just taking it in and holding it, and it's kind of like putting the other before yourself, right? Without just taking it in, or to just like not do transformation. Was that clear?
Oh yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And I've heard people give instruction both ways of
Yeah.
doing that kind of like transformation, and that it's kind of like an air exchange. And then I've heard instruction without that you're not transferring, you're just taking it in and you're breathing out light. So I think both are good, and just whatever like you connect with and that makes it more real. I think either are good, just as long as you're the keeping to the main point of like breathing in other suffering, sending them relief. I think like that it's more of a technicality, I would say. Yeah. So
Right. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Velma? Or sorry.
Just 1 second.
So, thank you, Leandra, for your wonderful teaching today. I love.
Sorry, Velma, can I jump in? Can you just speak up a little bit because it's a little bit hard to hear you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my speaker was not right beside me. Sorry about that. Okay. Thank you so much, Leandra. Really appreciate it. I love Tonglen. It's been part of my practice for many years, and I try to do it when I'm out and about walking around. And today, what I appreciated to add to that is the feeling that you said of Pema Children saying about absorbing through all of our pores. So it helped me to, because with shamatha and vipassana, it's the breath in and out, and I've always done Tonglen that way. And today with the visualization of being more like an osmosis type thing, that it's like this permeable membrane rather than just my breath channels, but the whole thing was really beautiful. So thank you so much for that extra bit of support to my practice. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thank you.
There are a few questions in the chat, and one of them is from Tech Voice Soon. When we are practicing alone, do we start every time with the 3 phases, just as you introduced us?
So we always start with flashing ultimate bodhicitta. So start with that. Well, sorry, before that, start with some shamatha meditation so that you're more grounded and settled and open. And then we always flash ultimate bodhicitta. And then from there, as you practice more and more, it can be more fluid, or maybe you can go like right into doing Tonglen for many people. But I do still find it helpful to start with the texture. We did like kind of equal parts texture, one person, many people, but it doesn't need to be exactly like that. It's kind of depends what works for you and how long you've been doing it. If you can kind of like dial in, or you need to kind of take a more like graduating approach.
Question from Jamyang Palmo. It's easy to connect with all sentient beings while sitting on a meditation cushion, but it's really hard to connect with specific people in everyday life. That's how I feel.
Yes, I agree. I guess that's part of why it's like training. You're training yourself to connect with people in everyday life and increase your capacity and reflexes, which I find is such like a interesting way to talk about it. So, yeah.
There was a question from Marie Claire in the beginning. What do we do with all the darkness we take in?
So you've done your Tonglen session, and once you finish the Tonglen, you go back to shamatha, and the reason we do that is so that you can let it go, and you're not like then leaving your meditation with like the darkness still inside of you. You're letting go of that visualization. And like I mentioned before, it's not sticky, so it's not like coating the inside of your body. It's just more focusing on taking it in, and inherently it is empty. So it's that the letting go process is very important part of Tonglen.
Yvonne is asking, can you describe flashing bodhicitta? Elaborate on the flashing aspect of bodhicitta.
Yeah. So I guess this is also more on the feeling level. So I can talk about it, but it's more something you kind of have to connect with yourself or find yourself. But I think words like openness, clarity, sometimes, or I think about it as like in terms of in the Tonglen context of like dropping your like storyline, your thoughts, your pettiness, and that you're opening up to the world, so that when you start to do Tonglen, it's like less about you and you're connecting more to like the emptiness and compassion and ultimate bodhicitta.
Thank you. I guess that's about it. Does anyone else has a question that they want to ask? Or should we go to the concluding prayers? I guess that's it. So I'll bring Tashi back for a second.
Okay. I just want to thank Leandra, because this really brings us down to earth in our everyday life in a very, very practical way. So thank Leandra for that very, very clear, crystal clear instruction. And several people in the discussion group that I was in talked about how this is helping them come back to a practice they did long ago. So I think we tend to somehow have forgotten that practice. So thank you very much, Leandra, and not just for today, but please keep passing these teachings on for the rest of your life. I ask that on behalf of all of us. So thank you very much. Please keep going. And if you could, Leandra, please lead us in the dedication of merit, which will flash on the screen.
Great. Thank you, Tashi.
I'm sorry.
By this merit, may all attain omniscience, may it defeat the enemy wrongdoing. From the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, from the ocean of samsara, may all beings be free. No. As long as space remains, as long as the world remains, may I too remain to alleviate the sufferings of the world.
All right, then. Well, thanks everyone again. I'll just ask everyone to unmute and see
Thank
you
you.
next Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Leandra.
Leandra.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you,
Thank
everyone.
you, Tashi. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you,
Tashi.
Thank
everyone.
Thank you,
you.
Leandra.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Gracias.